Venezuela. Okay, as always, first information, then I'm gonna look how those people actually live. We don't have exactly a clear border. They have some nonsense issue going with Guyana, so yeah. Let's start with population. 28.5 million people. As you can see, still rising a bit. So let's go with the numbers now. 1955, around 6.7 million people living in this place with a growing rate at 4.2%, which is insane. That will be roughly a quarter of the million every year. Migration on plus around 27,000. Median age 16 years old. One of those nonsense fertility rates 6.6. And urban population around 55%, let's call it like that. Now fast forward to 2025, the population grew immensely. Now there are 28.5 million people with a growing rate about 0.4%. Yearly change around 111,000 people, and migration minus 100,000 people. Median age around 30 years old, and now it's much more manageable fertility, 2.06. And urban population, I believe they stopped counting in 2015, around 90%, so probably it's the same now. As you can see here, we have a growing rate, pretty aggressive until 2020. In the pandemic year, they saw a steep decline, I guess, in population. Things didn't go that well. Migration, you can see here, absolutely huge. And then you kind of keep that trend, migration at an insane rate. They have migration before pandemic, but now it's another level, I guess. And still the yearly change with migration is still pretty big, I would say. Now 2050, the population, they say they're gonna go around 31 million people with a growing rate 0.14%. That'll be roughly 44,000 people, and migration minus 30,000. Median age around 36 years old, fertility rate 1.83, and those numbers should tell us some sort of the story, but it's gonna be a bit difficult here, because you're gonna see the things are not going well in a country and people choose to leave, but for some reason again they still have kids, not as the rate that used to have. So by 2030 they say they're gonna go below replacement rate, but still pretty high if you ask me. Now fertility rate, life expectancy 72 years old for both sexes, females 76, males 70, which is pretty good, I would say. Infant mortality rate 14.4, death under age of 5 17.4, which is absolutely huge numbers. So clearly the medical system is not even present in the country, I would say. What else can I say? Official language is Spanish. Clearly was a whatever you want to call it, Spanish territory, Spanish colony. You pick your words. Now demographics, the pyramid, as you can see, still pretty solid base with some male surplus in population by the age of 28-30, and then we're going with a female surplus in population. So yeah, that's pretty standard so far. Economically, GDP, let's see, 100 billion US dollars. Keep in mind, for 28 million people, and still rising, by the way. So you have only 100 billion to deal with this. There are people in the world that are richer than this country. Okay. PPP around 224 US billion. Growing rate 4% in 2023, which is not that much. GDP per capita $3,800, and PPP around 8,500. Let's give them 500 US dollars. That's pretty much nothing. Nothing. It's just no money. GDP by sector: agriculture 4.7, industry 40, and services 54. See, that's the problem here. 54. They need to have like at least 75, I would say. What else we have here? Unemployment rate 35% in 2018. My God, 35% of the unemployed. What are they doing there? Absolutely insane. Now it's 2018 again, but I don't even want to look for this 2025, 24. It just doesn't make any sense. I think they have some problem with US at some point, but now still with this. They export a lot in US, 42%, and they import a lot from US, 38%. That's something, I guess. Corruption. Ooh, look at this, how dark it is here in Venezuela. Venezuela is not that strange of corruption, let's call it like that. Let's go with the score. What is the score for them? Venezuela 10. Ooh, 10 points and -1. Yeah, pretty extremely absolutely horrifying bad things. There's no money, there is insane high corruption, and the population is still growing. This could be absolutely the worst scenario that you can imagine. This could be the worst country that I see so far in South America. So historically, well, I'm not sure exactly what I want to see here. We're gonna see, probably this is their historical claim that they say they have that problem with Guyana. So yeah, probably because, you know, resources, petrol, something like that. And clearly, what you can see here, there was a Dutch empire at some point, territory here in Guyana, and when the British are coming, they kind of seized that territory. So yeah, back in the day, nobody nobody did fuck with the British. Now, clearly different story. But yeah, there are some nonsense problem there. I'm not interested in that. Unfortunately, we don't have a border, so yeah, that's pretty bad for us. But at least we can have some 360 or street views. Unfortunately, as you can see here on the map, not exactly very rich in those 360s and street views, but still, let's see what they can offer for us. Judging from above, this one is from 2018, and yeah, it looks pretty good. I like this waterfall, I like this pool of water. Those people have a best day probably of their lives. It looks pretty nice. A lot of people, yeah, we don't care that much about those things because we can see those kind of things pretty much everywhere. Now I click there, now they show me here for whatever reason. Okay, I'm going with you, but still don't believe it's exactly where I check. Look at this, better lives. I'm not sure exactly how they smile when they have such a bad economy and such a bad corruption, but still, I guess it's a very, how should I say it? Very Latino style. Don't care, don't ask, just enjoy it. Okay, let's see. The urbanization from above doesn't seem to have those exactly straight lines. This is 2025. Ooh, that's just extremely recently, so we cannot get better than this. And yeah, no paved roads here. Everybody just jam it together. They have some trees here, thankfully for that, but anything else is just does not look particularly nice. Yeah, things are not going well there. It doesn't look well from above. They have this airstrip, an airport or whatever. I think it's an airport. It's more like an airstrip, let's face it. I'm not sure exactly what they're gonna arrive there, but hey, at least they have it. Well, we have a 360 here in the water. Again from above, very recently. Yeah, not that many things going on in here. Let's go straight for the, I think the Caracas is here. Yeah, the capital. Let's see how things really are here. And as always, we go in randomly on the map. I'm not choosing the bad sides, I'm not choosing the worst side. Here clearly this barbed wire doesn't inspire confidence and doesn't, let's say, maybe it's a jail. Oh, looks like that. And also doesn't reassuring a low crime rate country. It's a jail or what? Not sure, maybe, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think it's a jail. Oof, pretty rough stuff. Roads not so bad. It could be better, it could be worse. I like this is not March 2024, so very recently, which is pretty good. Again, those wires here clearly, again, not a good sign. But I guess with such a high unemployment rate, with such a bad GDP per capita, with such a bad corruption, with population still growing, I mean, I cannot find a worse thing. But they have a golf course. That's exactly what they need, a golf course. Of course they need the golf course. Look at this. Those people having the best life. They have a nice pool, have the golf course. Maybe they have some window shatter, but nothing insane. Ooh, look at this house. Now we're talking. This is the rich neighborhoods. Look at this. Woo! We find the rich one. We find the rich people. Yeah, as always, it doesn't matter how bad it is in a country. It doesn't matter how good it is in a country. You're always gonna have people that are doing better than others. It doesn't matter, just the way it is. Those are actually very rich neighborhoods. I didn't expect to see them exactly here on all the places in the world. There were actually other countries with better condition and I didn't find it, so here with the worst condition I just immediately find those places. Maybe they used to do pretty well in the past and it's just one thing right now that they're not going exactly the plan. Maybe they're gonna get straight up immediately, who knows, but I highly doubt that. It's just, but clearly there are some properties here with expensive I would say real estate. Those are not cheap, but the streets here is not so bad also, which is pretty good. But this is 2024. We have some decent information. Unfortunately, the quality of those street views not that well. Caracas seems to do pretty well in some areas, but unfortunately we didn't have exactly every street, so we can actually judge them appropriately. So we're gonna judge only what we have here. Those are actually fairly new cars. Now if you watch this video and you are from Venezuela and I don't know, so far it's a bit strange because I expect it to be much worse. How the life it is really there, because judging by the numbers it's absolutely terrifying. Judging by the landscape of the country, and again it just feels like they choose to show the good parts, not exactly the best one, but still it is pretty decent. Yeah, I don't like those high buildings, it's just me, but it seems to do pretty decent so far. Let's check those one. But again, that corruption index, that's just horrifying. Just 10 points. That's should be just 10 points left until 100%. Should have like 90 already, 90 points, but yeah, not even close to that. It's exactly on the other side. This is 2022. Very recently, those 360s and street views, good for them. And those are fairly new cars and expensive. So yeah, not sure exactly how that is gonna play around with other peoples when they have some, probably they're gonna have some protest and something like that. Just no way you can actually, with 35%, especially in 2018, 35% unemployment rate. And I'm not sure exactly how they try to sugarcoat that, but oh, they have some mountains here, and then they have the ocean, the Gulf, the ocean, whatever. Ooh, might have some other rich people here. What is that 360? It could be better. The house here is, I kind of like it. It looks pretty nice, and this is almost 2,000-meter elevation, pretty high. And that's Caracas right there, and probably on the other side is the ocean. Let's see this one. It doesn't seem to look that bad, I have to say. I see him definitely worse. Even Peru was worse, for God's sake. Peru was actually worse. Maybe they just, but again, they don't show exactly every street, so maybe they choose to look only to show only the good parts. I don't know. Yeah, that's absolutely horrifying one. So it's not exactly only good parts, but still. Let's check some other areas. Maybe we didn't. Let's go in the mountains. Let's go here. I just want to see that. Come on. There we go. See, a little bit of garbage here, but I guess it is what it is. Nice small fences here. That I really like it. Houses, not so well. This is 2019, just before pandemic, and clearly this is like a bus for, I don't know, tourists. Pretty nice. Yeah, one of those small villages there. It looks nice. Let me check this one. Now it's working perfectly. Yeah, this is 3,200 meters elevation, and can still be much higher than that. Yeah, this is nice. Oh, they have even some, yeah, not exactly construction, but attempt to construct something there. The country doesn't look that bad, at least landscape wise. Not sure exactly why this doesn't load, but yeah, let's see this one. Ooh, how many people live here. But again, they kind of chose to show only very few things. They show me the motorway, or at least I don't know, maybe they just start doing those 360s and street views, because it doesn't seem to be really old ones, and who knows, maybe the government doesn't want it to have it. I'm not sure. 2018, but they are from the inside. I want to see the outside. And look at this from the above. It doesn't look that well, I have to say. Everybody just jammed together. They don't have those straight streets, which is, I start to believe, a good thing. In some areas they have, in some areas they don't. Here they don't even have paved roads. A lot of people. But keep in mind, 28.5 million people living in this country. Ooh, that's a nice banana tree. Oh, look at it. They're gonna have bananas. They will have bananas. Tough break for them, I guess. Unfortunately, again, we don't have exactly a clear line of the border, but again, they have some nonsense issue here with Guyana. Again, probably petrol money, whatever, oil money. No idea what they say there, but this stain here doesn't look that well. Yeah, no thank you, not for me. Well, I need to see more. I'm not exactly convinced how nice it is here. It doesn't seem to be, especially for the numbers. Oof. Maybe they've done much better in the past. Not sure exactly, but they are absolutely horrifying numbers. But here, when you look at how they live, it's not great. Far away from that, but not exactly that bad. This is one of those gated communities, I guess, or whatever there is there. Oof. Let's check this one. Like a huge store here, or a medical center, I think it was. Pretty. Again, the problem is, like I already said, population, corruption is just out of control. I'm not sure exactly which island they have. Maybe this one is their island. Let's check just one of those 360. Not gonna get that much different. Yeah, it just not even look that great. I don't know. When I have to ask the people, why would you want to have more kids here? Not just now, but yeah, they don't cover faces. In the past, here it looks pretty nice. Nice day of the beach, no garbage on the floor. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good here. I get a bit jammed together, but 28 million people, come on. It will mean something at some point. You cannot hide from that. I mean, look at this, 28 million people, and let's say from 2000 they didn't increase that much, but especially because the migration was pretty much out. Especially things got bad from 1990. You can see the migration people start to leave the country. Got worse probably in 2000, and it kind of escalates from there. But still, the fertility rate almost, look at this, in 1995, 3 point. There was we can blame the internet. They didn't have the internet back then to see how those other people live, and now probably they see it and say, fuck it, I'm not gonna have another soul in a country like this. Maybe from above, yeah, doesn't seem so well. A lot of people jam it together. At least they have another land here, see, with some trees. That's pretty good. I don't think it was from that point, that 360, but yeah. At this point, you can see they don't have that many 360s. They don't have that many information in this area, unfortunately. But we have some. Can actually work with. Doesn't even work. This one. Let me see this one. Oh yeah. Oh. There is one of those churches. I believe so. Yeah, I'll be actually curious if you live in this country, how things really are here. Because on the ground level, let's say, from the satellite, looking at the ground, doesn't seem to be all that different than other countries that are doing a bit better on the paper, at least. But it's not worse either. It's just strange for me. I expect it to be extremely worse, but again, we don't have those 360s from everywhere, so they clearly choose to have just a few locations. But look at this, people are in vacation here. People can afford those kind of things, and with 35 unemployment rate, I was like, how they can? And they are 28 million people, and yeah, but I don't know, it is strange to me. No, maybe just me. Maybe we need to see some more. Yeah, it doesn't work. This one, good for us. Let me see from this one. Yeah, bars on the windows, clearly things are not going well. Cables from South America, trademark. Oh, this guy just make with a phone. You can make a 360 with a phone and then just rotate, or what? I never make a 360. I have to make some 360s too. Keep complaining about other people 360, but I didn't make one for me. Oh, here. Well, I see a little bit of the garbage, but not something extraordinary. Roads pretty decent considering everything that happens here. What else can we go? Let's see this one. Yeah, like I said, we don't have every single street, every single corner. It's not gonna be that, let's say, exactly how those people actually live, but still it's some sort of information. Things are not going well, that's for sure. I mean, look at this. Oh my god, they have bars everywhere here, and this is 2022 and they're using one of those TVs. Come on. Yeah, things not so well in Venezuela. Again, those insanely high population. The only thing that I know about this country before I start this video was, I don't know, where I heard that it was something like Maduro diet. Things were going so bad. I think it's the president, this guy, and people just they didn't find food probably, or something like that. It was expensive, I don't know, and they say that everybody's on the Maduro diet. Yeah, and I don't know, it could be, I don't know, maybe it's a good chance to lose some weight, who knows. It's not be exactly a bad thing, but it's kind of funny, you know, Maduro diet. Have a diet, name it by your president. It is something. Well, things are not, at least they have some sort of infrastructure, I would say. Not so bad, not so great, but with considering everything bad that happened, let's have that 35%. Those people has to go to protest or something. You can't just stay home. You get bored. So that's why you have protesters, because you have 35% unemployment rate. But yeah, life on the beach looks pretty good. Maybe I don't know how those people actually can get by, but things probably are not that bad for not most of them, for a lot of them. There are still 28 million people in the country, and those are not cheap cars, by the way, not even to maintain it, not just to purchase them. Some garbage here, I don't like it, but the beach is nice, it looks great. Yeah, a lot of people do, like I said, to leave the country. So maybe it's gonna be the same as in those third world countries. People just gonna go outside to work and then send the money back. A lot of young people here. Yeah. What is the median age? Was it 30? Yeah, 30 years old. You can see that. Oh, that's an expensive Toyota Hilux, and this is 2022. In the pandemic, they have mask. Not a worry in the world. I like it. What else can we see here? It's a nice bay area. I kind of like it here. Ooh, that's a nice Beetle. And another Volkswagen bus. Cars are not cheap. And they have expensive ones here. And a lot of them. Maybe, I think the petrol prices, the gas prices are very cheap here. So they don't care about that. So see, it could be... Look at these guys. Enjoying life, see? Not a worry in the world. Oh, this is 2016, by the way. 2 years until 35 unemployment rate. So maybe things were pretty good back then. Ooh, let's check this one right there. I don't think it's exactly right there, but still very nice. Whew, yeah, so a lot of young people unemployed, a lot of young people that cannot afford probably many things. So things usually don't go well when you have all those factors. But I'm not sure. A lot of people call it a failed state, but yeah, with those numbers clearly they are. But I'm not sure exactly how people react to that. I mean, you're in a country, you are at your home, and things are not going well at all. What do you do besides, living? It's pretty tough, I would say. But also pretty interesting to see from above in the same time, especially for me. But they seems to have, like I said, they have good roads. Yeah, housing in this region, in this South America, was never like something amazing, but they have those very rich neighborhoods that we find in Caracas. We find them pretty easy actually, and they were pretty nice, especially those with a golf course. Good for them. Let's check this highway. 2024, by the way. The quality of the 360 not so well, but the quality of the road pretty top notch. It is pretty good. So they have a lot of things that working pretty well for them, but that again, at 35 unemployment rate, kind of scares me. They have trains here. I don't find the price here, but probably it's with the reason they don't show the prices. There is a reason probably for that. Yeah, I don't know. Things are not looking that bad on the ground level, I have to say. Some are actually pretty nice. But yeah, numbers shows a different picture. Okay, let's find this one. How things are here. Well, not that bad, I would say, but those are definitely some bars on the window, so it's not exactly reassuring. Yeah, just can you imagine living in a home, in your own home, and you have to put those bars on the windows? It's like you're living in a prison. It's like, what the fuck? Look at this. It's just wow. That's for me right there. It's a deal breaker. It's just that's no way of living like that with the bars of the window. No, thank you. Just no. But the streets looks pretty nice. This one again probably is one of those rich neighborhoods. Probably looks better than others. I mean, just look at them. They have barbed wire. Who knows? Maybe actually they are electrified. Those wires. I have no idea. They have a gated community or whatever that it is there. But yeah, everybody feels like they live in a prison here. Even if in the nice neighborhood, probably this is where they're gonna go for robberies. They have something to steal. Then just go in the poor ones. But still, look at these buildings. Oh my god, those are the apartment buildings. Yeah, not so well. Fortunately, they don't have barbed wires or bars to the windows here, but that would be absolutely crazy. Yeah, what else can I say? Barbed wire. Things are not even close remote, and this is 2024, but this is way too recent to see those kind of things. A lot of cars on the streets. Yeah, let's check some other towns. Maybe it's gonna be better. I kind of highly doubt that. Or let's just go to some random those 360s. Yeah, this is from above. 28 million people, by the way. Okay, just for context. Not a one single 360 here, and clearly they have a lot of land. A lot of land. Huge amount of land. So you don't have to jam everyone together in small places. Some areas you can see, yeah, they're pretty spread out. I like it. They have like decent yards. Fortunately, we don't have a 360 to check them, but or a street view, but there are some exceptions. Not everything is that bad in Venezuela. And surely, like I always say, always gonna have good areas, bad areas, no matter what. It's just how the game works, but still. Yeah, from above it looks absolutely just barely. They have like 3-4 trees there. Here it's a bit better, more trees, but still, this is probably a cemetery. This is no paved roads. Maybe they changed it by now. Maybe it's got better. I don't know. And this is a town at what elevation? I don't think it points at. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh no, it's around 200 meters elevation, so not that high. Pretty much a flat land. Oh, that's pretty nice. Not sure exactly. We are still in Venezuela. Yeah, probably we crossed the border there. Not sure exactly. Or maybe not. The border is right here. Yeah. No, we are pretty safe there. Let's check this one. Let's go for this one. Yeah, from the inside. No, thank you. Guyana City. Okay, maybe we are not actually. Let me check in the map. Do we are in the Venezuela? I think we are. Yeah, that line confused me a lot. See, that's why I hate when they don't have those clear borderline, and they have some nonsense issue with whatever they can agree on there. Here is not so bad. Looks pretty nice, and this is 2021 in a pandemic here. But yeah, like, when you look from above, things are not going that well. Let's check this part here. Wow, this road is way too wide. You don't need to be that big. Yeah, you can see now, big roads means a lot of cost for nothing. You're just gonna sit there and consume the money. Those are probably from oil or gas, whatever they use it. City spread around. Fortunately, maybe just start to make those 360 and street views. Maybe, who knows, maybe in an year or two we're gonna see everything, hopefully. And you're gonna have a much better image, much clearer one, how things are going there. But look at this, those are expensive car, by the way. Those are a bit on the old side, I get it, but this one is expensive, this one is expensive. So again, when you have that many people, let's say just 10% of the population doing well, you have like 2.8 million people, they are doing well in the country. On that 2.8 million, it is something. And from that 2.8 million people, just 1%, let's say, no, from the entire population, from 1% of the population, that means 280,000 people doing very well. And you can see that, like we saw in Caracas. You're gonna have 280,000 brand new nice homes. See, in a good neighborhoods, with probably in a gated community, so they don't have to install those bars on the windows. See, just put one bar at the entrance in the community, and you are free from the windows. Probably it's gonna be cheaper anyway. Yeah, those high buildings not on my taste, but they seems to have good roads. You know what? Good for them. Good roads. Yeah, what is exactly there? Good roads. Cheap gas also, and that's it. I don't think we can see anything better than this. Look at this guy, 3 times got him. I think it's the same guy, right? Yeah, I don't know, living in Caracas, living in Venezuela, how things are. Give us some more information. It is that bad as they say it is, or it's actually a bit better? Because from the images it doesn't seem to be that bad. I mean, great roads, like I say, maybe they have even cheap cars. Who knows, maybe actually they can have cheap cars here. Not brand new, second hand, but still cheap cars. Yeah, some maybe that looks pretty nice. This one looks pretty good. They even have like a monument here. Show exactly what it says. Cristoforo do Colombo and 500. So maybe they just made that in for the 500 years anniversary, which Christopher Columbus discovered America. Oh, that was 1492, so 500. Maybe they made that monumental in 1992. It looks pretty good. It looks well maintained, I would say. Yeah, I don't know what I can say. From the sea, they have these nice mountains here. There is clearly a lot to see if you want it. What elevation we have here? Almost 2,000 meters. Yeah, I believe it was better back in the day, I guess, and just things got south recently, because I can see some decent houses in some areas. In areas, you know, not so much, but still pretty decent. Nice landscapes. I mean, you can beat that. You can beat that. You can contest that. That would be stupid to say, okay, it's not a nice country. It is nice here. Let's see this one. Hopefully it's gonna be something nice. Oh, I can see it. No, doesn't allow me. Come on. Oh, there you go. See? Pretty nice. Look at those guys. A nice place to sit. Nice place to sit around. Yeah. Pretty strange, I would say. Unfortunately, we don't have that much 360s. We can actually check in street views, but the ones that we have, and there are not that many, and it doesn't work that well also, as you can see. But those that they work, they say just better story than the numbers. That I can say. I think it just tells a better story than the numbers that we saw. But things clearly are not that well. Those apartment buildings, I hate them, but they seems well maintained. See? Yeah, I guess that's the video. Again, I would like to hear about, if you're living in this country, how things are really are there, or if you visited. On the paper, very bad. From the satellite, pretty decent. No, pretty decent actually from the satellite. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting journey, I would say. So yeah, check the other videos and see you next time.